Hi everybody, Amitabha Metta Love. Just want to say good morning if you're watching this in the morning, good afternoon if you're watching this in the afternoon, and good evening if you're watching at night. Just want to share an idea with you that I had. I was just out walking and starting to walk every day because my body needs to. The body needs to walk. You can't sit around the house, and that's what I've been doing. Not sitting, but I'm even standing for work, and the body just needs to move. I mean, yoga is not enough. It's amazing, but it's not enough. So I've been walking every day, and I was just out walking. It's really icy out, and I walked for about, I'd say, for maybe 30 minutes. And of course, the mind it just carries on and carries on and carries on, and it looks for somebody to be upset with. It looks for somebody to blame. It looks for anything but peace in the present moment. And I found that, I mean, I've known this for a while, but I really saw it this morning that it's not personal. It's really not personal. All the content, all the things it's upset about, it's not about that person, because they most likely didn't even do anything. Even if they did, it's still not personal. The content is just, the mind is just trying to find something to hold on to. And it's easier to hold on to something aggravating than peace for it, because it's been trained that way. I mean, we have busy lives, lots of things to do, and so the mind has been trained all throughout our lives. You gotta get ready, you gotta go to school, you gotta get a job, you gotta find a good stable income, you have to succeed, you have to become something or somebody, and so the mind is used to these patterns. So as I was walking, I tried bringing myself, realizing, okay, this is not self. I mean, it's just a program that's playing. And as I said this to myself, and I saw this, I realized, the mind really is like a computer. And, in psychology, they talk about, the unconscious mind is almost like a tape recorder. And whatever comes in, it just keeps playing, and it's not that it just keeps playing back, it kind of like loops it, and it creates feedback loops upon itself. And so you have contact with the world, with a person, with something somebody said, or a thought that you've even had, or a feeling, and with your body, and it was either pleasant or unpleasant, and then the mind said, well, I don't like that, or I love it and I want more. And then the mind just builds momentum upon that, and it creates stories and momentum, and it continues and becomes more and more distorted, more and more self-serving, and more delusional. And it has to be stopped. And I thought this as I was walking, it has to be stopped. It must be stopped. And I saw, the mind really is like a computer, whatever you put in, whatever thoughts you believe, even of your own, even if they're not from someone else, from a book or a show or a teacher, even if they're just your own thoughts, the mind believes them, and it acts upon them. It creates more thoughts, more speech, more action, more delusion, more upset, more desire, more aversion, more fear, more wanting, more sadness, more happiness, more whatever. And it just continues on and on and on. And I thought, that it must be stopped. And I realized, how can we stop it? And with the computer, I thought, well, the mind's kind of like a computer, and it's like there's a virus in the computer, and the computer is fine. There's no problem with the computer, but if you get a virus in it, The virus is conditioning and self-belief and identification with the five aggregates: body, feeling, perception, um, mental formations, and consciousness. If we identify with those things, we've essentially been given and have created and are sustaining a virus in the mind. So we have to get it out. And that's how we become peaceful and happy, is by cleansing this virus. And it's a very pernicious and very insidious and very persistent virus. And we have to keep working on it moment by moment to get it out. And yet you don't want to create more aversion by trying to get it out. So I realized, the computer works fine before the virus. It's just a mind. It's just a computer, and it doesn't have to do anything. You have to give it commands. You have to give this computer commands. And so the mind also needs commands. Otherwise, it's just peaceful, happy, and wonderful. And then once a virus comes in, though, the commands are coming from the virus. They're coming from the conditioning. They're coming from the beliefs and thoughts and delusions. So in order to get it back to, its peaceful nature, just awareness, non-self-awareness, just experiencing. There's no self there. There's just exactly what is. The consciousness of a tree. A tree is not going around and, I don't know what the consciousness of a tree is like, but I assume, it's just being there. It's accepting. It's growing when it can. It's accepting the elements. I walked by a tree and it was so icy, and I was like, "Wow, you're so icy." And the mind wants to think, "Well, the tree's upset by the ice," and that's what my mind said actually as I walked by and said that. But most likely, the tree is just the tree. So we can also just be. We can also just be aware and just allow and experience the moment as it is and have peace. So I thought about the computer program, and I thought about the virus, and I thought, well, in order to get the virus out, you have to put a new, you have to have an extraction method, so an antivirus. So the antivirus is mindfulness, and this is something we have to cultivate. And I thought about, well, in order for a computer to do something, you have to give it commands. So you have to tell it to start. You have to press the button. You have to tell it to go to my computer and look at these files. You have to move the mouse. There's something in charge. So I realized, we have to be in charge of our own minds. We have to be in charge of our own awareness, and put an end to the delusions, and give the mind wholesome commands. So it's really funny. As I was walking, it's Christmas time, and of course there's Christmas songs in the atmosphere. And Away in a Manger, I think it's the Faith Hill version. I don't even think I've heard it. Maybe I heard it subconsciously somewhere, and I've heard it before, of course, but I probably heard it this season, and it's just playing, again and again and again. I don't particularly like the song. I don't listen to it, but it's just playing again and again and again. And I saw the mind as I was walking. I saw it complaining about those ones I love. I saw it complaining about myself. I saw it planning, and I didn't see it at peace. It wasn't at peace. It's always pulling me or pushing me in some way. And so as I saw this song playing in my mind again and again, I wasn't upset by it, but I realized it's just doing it on its own. I'm not choosing that. It's pure delusional ignorance, and it's lack of self, because I didn't choose that. I didn't create that. The only thing I was aware of it. And I realized, what? I'm going to tell this to stop. I'm going to give my mind a command. So I said, stop. Don't ever remember that song, or don't ever play that program again, that song again. and it stopped. Now then I thought, wow, it actually worked. For a time. Worked for a time. And then I thought, maybe I can put in programs that I want the mind to play. Instead of just stopping programs, I can also play programs. So I said, play the mindfulness, fully peaceful, fully aware, fully joyous, fully released program. Play that. And it did. And then I was all of a sudden walking, and my troubles were gone. The mind wasn't talking so much anymore. And I'm walking along, and I'm just enjoying the experience. Not even liking it or disliking it, but just there's a pleasantness to awareness, to bare awareness. And I was like, wow, this really works. And then I thought, well, maybe that song's never going to come back. And I couldn't even really remember, and then I heard it. Just a little bit. It was more distant this time, though. It's more like hearing a song in another room versus hearing it in the same room. It was kind of like that. Just a piece of it. I was like, oh, there it is. And it was mindfulness that saw that. And it stopped. It didn't keep playing. It stopped. So I just want to share this idea, and I want to make sure I give a disclaimer. I don't think that you should go around telling your mind what to do and getting upset if it doesn't do what you want it to do. But there is some value in instructing your mind in wholesome ways, in unattached wholesome ways. So stop playing that program. Now, is it going to stop? I don't know. Is it going to stop every time? It might. But, at least if you say stop, you're telling the mind this is not important. And that's probably what happened for me is, my mind thought that song was important. And so it kept playing it over and over again. I thought it was important. So I told the mind, no, that's not important. Stop. Don't play that program anymore. I instructed the mind as the computer that it is. And it stopped for a while, and then I also put in the program of mindfulness, happiness, peace, and that played for a while. So maybe that was just more conditioning. I don't really know, and I can't tell you at this point. But it's wholesome conditioning. It's directing oneself towards awareness, and that was helpful. So this is something I'm going to start doing in my life, and I would encourage you to do this as well. And I hope you'll share your experience, how this works for you, if it works at all. So just try it. Think about what you want the mind to do before, instead of it telling you what it wants to do. Give it a command. Give it a wholesome command. Don't bring any akusala into it. Kusala is wholesome. Akusala is unwholesome. Keep it wholesome. Keep it happy. Keep it peaceful. Don't program it with the intent that I better get what I want or I'll be upset. Give it with, this is what would be nice. I don't need that anymore. So it's quite early. And so I'm going to tell it to stop. Stop playing that program. It's unnecessary. And play this one instead. And it might be conditioning, but if you play a program that's mindfulness, that's awareness, it's almost like a program that it's an antivirus to its own virus. So it's programming itself to self-destruct. It's like the go-go gadget. Remember Inspector Gadget? I guess he didn't self-destruct. He self-destructed the instructions. So he got the instructions, and it said this message will self-destruct. So that's what you have to do, is give it a command to self-destruct. So the command is run and play the mindfulness of the present moment program. Run and play the peacefulness, peaceful, joyful awareness, gratitude. Play the free, loving kindness and awareness, and goodwill for others. Play that program. See what it's like. So let me know how it works out. please comment below. Like and share this video if you like the idea. So I love you so much. You have a great day and good luck. And I'm looking forward to hearing how this works for you. Bye for now.